Good morning, folks. Welcome to Big Al's Eats. We out here early this morning. We're gonna get ready for the big national championship football game this afternoon with University of Georgia and the Alabama Clemson Tide. So we're gonna have Brunswick Stew this evening, and first thing we gotta do get us some pork cooked. Got a Boston butt here. It's 5.5 pounds. Gonna season it up, put it on the big green egg, and got a whole chicken. We're gonna cook a whole chicken. That's gonna be our meat for the Brunswick Stew. And we're gonna be using my dad's old recipe that he developed many years ago. I think my dad and my wife's mother, Geneva Snell, I believe they're the ones that actually put this recipe together. I had to check on that. Regardless, it's a great recipe. It tastes like Brunswick Stew is supposed to taste. So let's get this old Boston butt seasoned up. I got the big green egg lid. We're gonna cook this about 4 hours or whatever. We're gonna we're gonna put a hurry up on it because we're gonna cook it down and in the stew. We'll cook the stew 3 or 4 hours and gonna cook this 3 or 4 hours. So we'll be ready by kickoff time. So let's get this stuff going. We'll come back and get it cooking, and got a few other things we're going to do during the day, and you'll see all of it right here on Big Al's Eats. All right, it's time to get started on this Brunswick Stew. We got that Boston butt over there on the big green egg. It's probably about halfway done. It's warmed up outside. I took my coat off, but we got this old chicken here, and we bought a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store, and this is the easy way to make Brunswick Stew. So I'm going to be taking all this meat off and get it ready to go. Look at that skin. Good skin. Chicken skin. Got a whole chicken here. About a 3-pound chicken, I believe, and got a 5-pound Boston butt over there cooking. After we get it done, we're going to take it, get it off the bone, chop it up good. Going to get the big old Brunswick stew pot and get that stew going. So it was a long process. I ain't going to bore you with it, but it's time to get busy. Okay, it's time to finish up this Brunswick Stew. I say finish it up, we just getting started. We got the meat done, the Boston butt that I cooked, this just absolutely falling apart. I've already taken it off the green egg, got it wrapped up, letting it rest for a minute, and now we're going to chop a few onions. The recipe calls for 2 large onions. So we'll get those chopped and get those in a pan to saute. Just got back from Mike's Country Store. Picked up a little chicken broth to go in my stew. And they have that breakfast skillet sausage down there. It's a new sausage. I mentioned it earlier in a video that I did, and it is some excellent sausage. And every time I go down there, they're out. They're selling a lot of it. And I just talked to Todd and Mike. Mike happened to be in the store, and I spoke with him for a minute and told him, I said, hey, what am I going to have to do? Go over there and make that sausage myself? And Todd told me, he says, we're making it as we speak. So tomorrow morning, I'm heading out to Mike's Country Store and getting that skillet link sausage, or I'm not sure what they call it. Some about skillet sausage, but it's got everything in it: eggs, cheese, onion. It's like eating a sausage omelet in a tube, man. I tell you what, it's good. Very good sausage. All right, here we go. We got these onions chopped. I peeled about 5 pounds of potatoes earlier. We're going to put the onions and the potatoes in the pot together and let them saute and get a little bit soft before we start adding the other ingredients. So got to do one more onion, and we'll start on the potatoes. Okay, we've got the onions going now. We're going to add a little bit of kosher salt. We're going to season it several times, so we're just going to get enough in here to get these onions sauteed. Going to add a little coarse ground black pepper. That'll be enough for now. And now we'll stir. Just want to stir them, saute them a little bit till they get translucent. There we go. We'll let that go. Let's get all them onions off of this paddle here. We got to have every onion in there. It called for 2 large. We're going to do the 2 large. Like I was saying earlier, the recipe here, it was created by my dad and my mother-in-law. Well, my dad created the tools to make it with. He took some stainless steel stock and made a stir paddle, spoon, whatever you want it. Pure stainless. He built the whole thing. Works great. Thanks, Dad. Onions are looking pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and add the potatoes in. I went ahead and I've got all these potatoes peeled and cubed up. Tried to get them all about the same size. Let's get those in there. And now we'll just let this saute here for just a few minutes, and just get them just a little bit soft, and we can start adding the liquids in. All right, we got the potatoes, the onions going, and all we got to do now is open these cans and pour stuff in. You know, you can go as easy or as hard as you like. You can use canned tomatoes. You can use tomatoes that you've canned, fresh tomatoes. You know, how far do you want to take it? And you know, I've got all these ingredients, different ingredients. Some people may say, well, that's not true Brunswick stew. Well, it may not be, but it's the way we like it. It tastes like Brunswick stew. People put a lot of different things in there, and you know, there's so many variations. Is there really a right one? But I've got the old recipe right here. Calls for 4 to 5 pounds of Boston butt. That's what we use. You can use any kind of pork you like. 3 to 4 pounds of chicken. When we started making this, we take a pressure cooker and put a fresh Boston butt in and a fresh whole chicken and just cook it down. And now I've gotten to where, you know, add a little extra something to it. I cook everything on the grill, and it adds a little smokiness to it. I use 3 cans of whole kernel corn. Well, today I'm using 1 can of whole kernel corn and 2 cans of, that's chicken broth, of cream corn. Cream corn works great. You use whatever you like, and we've tried it with that. I even put English peas in here. You know, that's how Daddy did it. 5 pounds of potatoes and a 32-ounce bottle of ketchup and a 12-ounce bottle of Worcestershire, and salt and pepper and hot sauce to your liking. Season it. We've got fresh lemons that we're going to squeeze and put in there. To me, lemons is really what brings the flavor out in a Brunswick stew. So I'm just going to pour all this stuff in and turn the heat down and let it go to simmering. So let's get with it. Okay, here we go. Let's add these ingredients. We'll start putting the tomatoes in. Like I said, you know, this is a 14.5 ounce. This is 28. It all winds up being 3 cans of tomatoes. And these are petite cut tomatoes. These are diced tomatoes. They're both the same, you know. You're gonna want them to cook down as much as possible. And 1 can of English peas. It don't get any easier than this. Pour it in there and put it on low and slow. Corn. More corn. And I usually add chicken broth in here for moisture. In the past, when I would cook it, when I do the pressure cooker, there's the whole kernel corn. When I do the pressure cooker method, I had pork and chicken broth, you know, so I'm not doing that. So now we just, we add a little chicken broth to it. And have a bottle of Worcestershire sauce. I use French's, but you use whatever you like. And there's the ketchup. I'm not going to put all this in here. It calls for a 28 ounce. 28 ounces. This one's 35. And you know, exact measurements aren't going to make or break you. You know what I mean? Now let's get this stirred a little bit. I do have another can of chicken broth that I've got to put in. Let's go ahead and get that other can of chicken broth. And there's all the broth. That's basically everything that you're going to put in it, except for the lemons and the meat. I'm going to let this cook down a little bit. And we're going to add some more water to it. I may throw a chicken bouillon cube in there, you know. I wonder if they got pork bouillon. That'd be good too, I'm sure. So anyway, we're going to let this cook a little while, and we'll come back and add the meat and lemon juice and stuff like that. When we put those lemons in there, that's when we're going to do a little taste testing. That's when you really fine-tune Brunswick Stew. So let's let her go, and we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, we got all that going over there. We're going to chop up a little chicken now. This is a chicken we cooked on the egg a while ago. Going to chop it up real fine. Got a small cutting board here, so we're going to take it real easy. We don't want no chicken flying across the man cave out here. You know, them chickens, they'll take off and fly. I'm just going to break it up a little bit. It ain't got to be a bunch of fine chopping, because when the heat hits it, it's gonna cook down, be stringy, which is, you know, what you want. Now we got the Boston butt. I took it off the grill. It cooked 6 hours. Put it on early this morning, and I would say it's falling apart tender. Poor old dog, he gonna like that. But yeah, this meat is just absolutely falling apart. And usually, you know, I say chop this up. I'll show you how we do this. I'm going to separate it out, get some of the fat out of it, and then I'll show you how we pull this pork. Okay, this is how we do this. A little piece right there. It ain't going to make it in the stew. I got to taste that. I should have cooked 2 of these. One for now, and one for the stew. Let me move this here to the side just a little bit. And there's another piece. That ain't nothing but skin. That ain't going in the stew neither. That's going back on the grill, and we're going to crisp it up. But this is how we do the pork. Put it on a cutting board and mash it with a paper plate. And there you have it. That's pulled pork right there. That, Mr. Gentleman, is pulled pork. There ain't no way you can't say that ain't, well, it ain't been pulled. It's been smashed. Oh man, I found another piece of skin. Uh-oh. Back to the grill, y'all. But anyway, that's it. All you gotta do now is put it in that pot and stir every time you walk by. Man, that's a good pork. All right, let's finish this up and go on to something else. All right, we got all this meat ready. Got a pile of pork right here. Drop her in there. Chicken, put the chicken in. It's that easy. Put in the pot and stir. This is the point now when and if you got a crowd of people around, normally you don't let folks peek in the grill. You don't want them touching your stuff. I always tell them, somebody walks by this pot and they see that paddle, take the lid off and stir it. You can't stir it too much. Whenever you put the meat in, that's when it wants to stick. But now's the point, where you want to go low and slow. And this is actually starting to look a little like Brunswick Stew already. I'm going to stir here just for a second, then I'll take that camera and poke it down in this hole where you can see what's going on. That's cool. Let me see if I can get up here with these old white knees. Let's see what we got here. That looks a little bit like Brunswick Stew, I would say. I could be wrong, but I know one thing. Let me sit down here. That dog will hunt. We got about 3 hours now. All the hard work's over with. I'm gonna sit back. Might be a little pre-game coming on here in an hour or two. I don't know. But we're gonna sit back out here, take it easy. May go inside, see if Miss Mitty got anything she needs me to help her with. But got to keep this stew stirred. Still got the lemons to put in it, and we'll taste test as we go along and get them seasonings just right. I'm sure it's gonna need some more salt and pepper. I've still got to put the hot sauce in, and we'll probably do that in about 30-45 minutes. So y'all hang loose. Get ready for them dogs. They playing tonight, 8 o'clock, ESPN. We got the cousins and the aunts and uncles coming over again, and it's gonna be kind of laid back. I've got a little wager on the game. I bet, I actually canceled out one of my bets. I bet, Owen Gray over in Gulf Shores, Alabama, lives on the water. Owen's a heck of a fella. Had a little hot dog place called Big O's. And Craig, my middle son, lived with Owen for a while. They live on the water over there, and I'm sure you've probably seen videos and stuff like that of their foolishness that goes on over there. But Owen, Owen's the grown folks in the crowd. And Owen's had us over for dinner before. Owen knows how to cook. Owen will throw down. But I've got a bet with Owen that I'm betting that Georgia's going to win, and I bet him a hash brown omelet. He likes to eat. I like to cook. So I don't know what he's going to give me, but I got a feeling I may be having to cook him an omelet. He's had one before down there at the beach. We'll see what happens. And then my old buddy Fred Market. He couldn't come tonight. He wanted to be here, but he got him a new puppy. So his days of traveling and visiting and stuff like that's over with. He got to stay home and dog sit down. And he wanted him a lap dog. Well, that dog gonna be sitting in his lap, and I'm gonna be over here lapping up some cold beer. And I bet a buck with him. And I took Alabama. He took Georgia. So anyway, it's gonna cost me a buck, or it's gonna cost me a hash brown omelet. We'll see what happens. But anyway, we'll enjoy both of them, ever how it goes. Somebody gonna have to come collect. And if I lose to Fred, he's gonna have to bring something out here to snack on for me to pay him. So I'm gonna come out to good anyway. So anyway, we'll be back in a little while. Get this baby stirred up, keep it stirred. Life is good. Let's get this old stew stirred up a little bit and taste it and see where we at. This is the point where we'll adjust our seasoning. It's been cooking for 2 or 3 hours now. Let's get a little spoon here. Pretty good. I think we need a little more lemon juice. And I think we'll put a little more salt in it. Might even throw some pepper in there. But it's getting real close. All right, here we are. We had to pack things up and come over here to Aunt Vicky's house. Game's on. There's that stew. We done looked at that already. Got a little pasta salad over here. Got some chips, spinach dip, smoked mullet dip, soda crackers, and dessert. Let's go ahead and see what these ladies doing. Wait a minute, we got some cream cheese over here. We're gonna eat like big navel jabs tonight. We got a couple grandmas in here. One of them got a child. One of them don't. What? No. Hey Jennifer. Hey, the big sister right there. Hey, how y'all doing? All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging with me today over here at Big Al's Eats. We got all that food laid out. We finna get with it. Georgia playing, Alabama playing. We're gonna see what happens. Alabama kind of marching down the field on them, but the game just started. So remember, like and share my page. From Big Al's Eats, my kitchen to yours. Bon appetit.